What's up, everybody? It's Flash Speaks again, man. This media right here clowning. Stephen A. Smith here with Wilbon, Jalen Rose, as well as Greeny. They're here covering the game. I think it's the Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks right now. They're getting it in. But here, Stephen A. Smith and them, they bring up CJ McCollum. For some reason, he ties in James Harden to it, as if the Sixers should have gotten CJ McCollum over James Harden. They're going to speak about it, and I'm going to chime in.
We'll see what winds up happening tonight. But Stephen A., we mentioned CJ McCollum. You brought him up. They were 10 games under 500 when they got him. They were a game over 500 with him. When you watch CJ McCollum and what he's done in New Orleans, what comes to your mind?
Makes me think about the Philadelphia 76ers and why Daryl Morey should be under the gun right now. The Philadelphia 76ers had an opportunity to send Ben Simmons to Portland for CJ McCollum and Robert Covington. Now,
listen to this stupid ass shit up. All right, listen. This boy right here, he's so egotistical and so caught up in his own bull crap narrative that he's saying this the level of stupidity, right, that Stephen A. Smith is working with right now knows no bounds. Come on, man. Hindsight is 20/20, my man. Anybody can say something after something happens. When a dude is struggling, anybody can just kick him and all that kind of stuff. But let's be for real. If you got a choice to trade for one or two players, CJ McCollum or James Harden, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? You gonna grab motherfuckers James Harden. That's all day. James Harden, say whatever you want, man, and all that kind of stuff. James Harden is one of the most prolific scorers in the history of the game. James Harden, right now, this year just passed Reggie Miller. Just passed Reggie Miller on the all-time three-point list. He's only literally behind Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. And, him and Larry Bird, for me, it's a toss-up. But, we can go with Steph Curry if we want to just talk about accumulative shots, right? And Ray Allen. That's the only people he's behind when it comes to three-point made. And when you're trying to evaluate a player and decide who you're going to trade for, that's the shit you look at. CJ McCollum, dude, he's a nice player. Right now he's scoring, averaging about 25. All of that is good. But when you're talking about these two players, it's a no-brainer that James Harden was historically the better player and is right now still the better player. Let's keep it real. We could talk about James Harden right now scoring 22 points a game. That's 3 less than CJ McCollum, but he's also giving you 10 assists a night. Right? Come on, man. It's not even close. But something wrong with Stephen A. Smith, man. Something wrong with him.
looking at the way James Harden has looked thus far, you trying to tell me the veteran that is CJ McCollum, what he's capable of giving you with his perimeter shooting, the imagination that you could utilize to fantasize about him paired with Joel Embiid, that was something to sneeze at? I dare say.
It is something to sneeze at. Achoo! It is something to sneeze at, man. CJ McCollum, dude, there's a lot of players you can get that does what he does, man. When we're talking about the Sixers' needs at the time prior to the trade, we were looking for a playmaker. You got Tyrese Maxey that's going to go out there that can just get you points in bunches. All right, you got Joel Embiid. You got even Tobias who can score. Man, listen, I'm not listening to none of you clowns with all that dumb stuff about, Tobias Harris is making $40 million. I don't give a damn. I don't care. His money don't affect me, man. He's a guy that you know can get you 20 points a night. Right, CJ McCollum, come on, man. Come on, let's not act stupid here. He's not a player that was ever on the level of James Harden. What are you talking about, imagination? No, imagination and being creativity, talking about creativity, you can do much more with a James Harden than a CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum's not even the type of guy that compliments a Joel Embiid because passing is not in his repertoire. This is just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. CJ McCollum would be a nice upgrade over Seth Curry. That's about it, man.
That if it was someone other than Daryl Morey, a DM, almost any other GM would have strongly considered that. But Daryl Morey obviously had his eyes on a prize that was James Harden, and that compromised him. That's what I think about.
Would they be better off, Jalen? Would the Sixers today be better off if they'd made that trade instead of the Harden trade?
Today, I can't say they would be better off, and here's why. Because if you're Philly, you're trying to put the Avengers together. They thought they were getting the best GM in Murray, the best coach in Doc. They have an MVP in Joel.
I believe Marty's best GM, but all right, whatever. I'm not going to just nitpick. Go ahead.
And you thought you were bringing over a superstar in James Harden. Now, CJ and Covington have been more productive, but you bring in James Harden, Stephen A., to be box office.
Hasn't been more productive, man. If a dude is giving you 22 points and 10 assists, that's more productive than 25 points. If I'm giving you 22, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds a night, that's more than a guy that's just giving you 25 points. What is wrong with these dudes, man? What is wrong with these dudes? CJ McCollum is not like a two-way player either. And even if you want to look at, there's this whole thing narrative about Harden's not a playoff performer. What kind of fucking playoff performer is CJ McCollum? Both of them been getting knocked out. But at the end of the day, Harden is a guy that the team actually built something around. Where CJ McCollum, no one would even consider building a team around him, man. Come on, man.
And that's why when these playoffs start, we're going to see what James Harden is actually made of, Michael Wilbon.
Michael.
Yep. Jalen, you're 100% right. The answer to this is result-based. Is James Harden going to be the guy that we saw a couple of years ago, or even the first few games that he played with Embiid, or is it going to be the James Harden we've seen the last 3 weeks? That will entirely determine whether Philly is moving on in the East.
This is what bothers me with these motherfuckers, man. Like, I'm sorry, man. I keep cussing, but these dudes really, 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 really getting on my nerves, man. Listen. First of all, James Harden isn't playing as bad as they're trying to make it, man, and I'm losing respect for these guys. All right? Now, James Harden, you're right. He's not hitting the three-point shot at a high clip. But that's not an unfixable problem. A three-point shot is not an unfixable problem. You can literally have a game where that just cuts back on. CJ McCollum, just like he's shooting right now, he could literally go through a slump where he's not shooting as well. Stop being so concerned about that. There are other aspects to the game of basketball. James Harden has played excellent point guard. And actually, the Sixers are at their best, really blowing teams out, not when James Harden is out there just searching for a three-point shot. But when he's playing point guard well, the times we got into trouble is when the coaching staff is telling him, man, look for your shot. And he's out there forcing them. But for the most part, he's setting up other guys. That's what we needed. A guy that can set up Maxey for shots, Tobias for shots, Niang for shots, Shake Milton for shots, Fourcade for shots. This is the type of guy we needed. James Harden right now is, of course, without even a second notice, the better option than CJ McCollum. It's not even like why this is even a question is just so stupid to me. And why the hell, if Stephen A. Smith has asked a question, he got some personal thing with the Sixers, because if he's asked a question about CJ McCollum and the New Orleans Pelicans, that ain't got shit to do with the damn Sixers. Man.
Eastern Conference, and look, at this point, I'm not sure they could beat Toronto. I may favor Toronto in that series, or are they going to be?
Now, that's another thing, man. Like, I haven't even done a video on these people that think the Toronto Raptors are really going to beat the Sixers. But, like, listen, man, any of y'all that's listening right here, dude, you think Toronto's going to beat the Sixers? I'll put a stack on it. All right? Anything short of, like, see, one of these, our series players getting hurt. Sixers will beat Toronto in 5. Okay? In 5. All right, that Toronto stuff, listen, man. If y'all really paying attention to the game, you saw what happened in the first game. Sixers were blowing them out of the park in the beginning of the game. All right, take the foot off the gas. Doc makes some stupid adjustments where he has Embiid out and he has Harden out. We got the second unit in there. And then the Toronto second team starts to pick up steam. Like, if you really pay close attention to the actual game, please. All right, now, if you're talking about a series, all the little plays Toronto tries to have, and with Siakam and everything. You think Siakam's going to go out there and score 37 and Barnes and all these guys are going to do that? All right, listen, more power to you. I'm happy for you that you believe that, man. I'm telling you right now, when the Sixers focus on Toronto, pay attention to them, see what they're doing, and put together a strategy to stop them, it's going to be a totally different story, man. I've been watching basketball for over 30 years. The playoffs is a completely different animal than, this random night in regular season where they lose to Toronto. Trust me, the Sixers are not worried about Toronto, bro. Come on, man. These dudes is crazy.
Trying to reconfigure once again. Because if Harden doesn't get this done, you're looking at Maxey, you're looking at the ensemble, Seth Curry, you're looking at all these other guys who have to make up for some inadequate performances.
Steph Curry, what are you talking about?
James Harden, unless he comes through late in the playoffs for the first time in his career.
All right, maybe.
I love the way they act like James Harden ain't never did nothing in the playoffs. And this is happening all over the place, man. Even guys I respect who have little channels, they just keep taking shots at Harden. And that's fine or whatever. But I'm trying to figure out how the hell a guy has gotten to the Western Conference Finals but never had a damn good playoff game. Never, ever, ever stepped in the playoffs. How the hell can a guy average 28 points but never had a good playoff game? This is why I just ignore these dudes, man. These dudes is crazy.
You're a little bit hazy because you got bit by the coyote and you haven't fully recovered from it, okay? But the fact of the matter is, you and Jalen were talking about the 76ers. There was one person up here cautioning you.
You're wrong. Why? Why are they talking like Harden came to the Sixers and all of a sudden the Sixers won like 8, we're 5-20? That's what they act like Sixers were doing one thing, then Harden came when we won 5 games and lost 20. That's what you would have thought if you listen to these dudes, man. Sixers had a winning percentage under Harden. It's a winning team. And actually, these two guys, by the numbers, are the best tandem in the league. But when you add a new player, especially a point guard, that takes time to gel. Like, whenever LeBron James, for example, teamed up with a new player, whether it was Kyrie Irving, whether it was Dwayne Wade initially, there is a part of the game that these guys have to learn to work together. That happens. Right? Now it's been 25 games. Now we're in the playoffs. We see what happens. But why do these dudes act so stupid? Either they're doing this on purpose, okay? Or they're really dumb. I think it's somewhere in the middle.
All about what the hell was going to happen. And it happens to be me. And it happened to be right.
I know.
And the fact of the matter is this. We can also
be right about what? Right about what? What are you right about?
go by what we have seen from CJ McCollum. You can't sit here and rave about CJ 1 minute and then feel like, oh, excuse me, well, let's see what James Harden does. James Harden has to step up. He's holding the Sixers title.
So this all comes down to CJ McCollum being 39% from the three. This is how apathetic these guys are. This is how inept they are when it comes to knowledge of the game of basketball. We're going to forget about the 10 damn assists. Games where Harden had 14 assists, 15 assists. We don't care nothing about that. All we care about is the 3-point percentage. That's why I can't take these guys serious. That's why I cannot take them serious. That's all he does, is he's shooting better than Harden. That's literally it. He's averaging 24.3 points per game. Harden is averaging 22. Oh, whoop-de-freaking do.
Hopes in the palm of his hands and some jobs, by the way.
But when you're about to trade James Harden, on paper, you're saying we're about to get a top 20, top 25 player in return. And though CJ McCollum is a 25-point per game scorer, people wouldn't have thought.
Now Harden is 20-25, top 20-25. He ain't top 15 no more, huh? Unbelievable.
On paper, they've gotten enough in return. But let me tell you something you're going to get from CJ McCollum that ain't on the stat sheet. Professionalism.
That's nice. I love these narrative guys, professionalism, because Harden didn't want to be in Brooklyn, so I don't even care about that. But let me tell you what Keith Pompey, the beat writer for the Sixers, has said. He acknowledges Harden is struggling with his three-point shot right now. But he said that he's been in on Sixers practices and everything following this guy. He said James Harden is the hardest working player he's ever seen. And this is a guy who's been watching NBA for years. That's what he said, Keith Pompey.
He's going to show up and actually give you those points and give you that professionalism that you can rely on.
Leadership. I told you, none of us.
In leadership, CJ McCollum. We don't need it. We don't need the leadership of CJ McCollum. Whatever. I'm not even going to go into it, man. These guys are stupid. I just can't wait till this game comes up tomorrow.
Disagree with that at all, but here's my problem, and I'm going to go to Jalen Greeny with this. Listen, you played this game. You know this game backwards and forwards. I understand CJ isn't James Harden from years ago, but I mean, damn.
He ain't James Harden right now.
He can give you 25 a game. Why does he have to be? Why does he need to be?
Because 22 and 10 assists is actually of higher value than 25 points a game. Idiot.
You have a Joel Embiid. Maybe we should be looking at how teams evaluate players and what their needs are, because a lot of these guys are missing it. Damn it, I might think about becoming.
What the needs are. If you are the Philadelphia 76ers prior to James Harden coming, you have a starting five of Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Matisse Thybulle, Seth Curry, and Maxey. The Sixers did not have a true point guard on the team. Tyrese Maxey is a combo guard who is in his second season, who's not really ready to distribute the ball like that. Not for a team with championship aspirations. Seth Curry is not a point guard at all. He's actually an undersized two guard. One of the best shooters in the league, percentage-wise, but he's an undersized two guard who really is best suited to be a six-man. This was the Sixers situation. Why the hell would you need to have CJ McCollum and you will feel that fits better than a James Harden who comes in to be your ball handler and your point guard, and you move Maxey to the two? What the hell is going on? Like, he's just wrong and nobody's refuting him.
President of basketball operations in the future.
But you would think that Maxey and CJ kind of complement each other, and you think James Harden
don't complement each other. They actually play the same damn way.
to be the game changer to take you to another level. Let's see if he can do that in this year's playoffs, because I know you worked at Philly a long time.
That's right.
And you're going to hold him accountable.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith ain't no real Philadelphian guy, man. That's another thing I'm tired of. This whole narrative, Stephen A. Smith, this Philly guy, he worked for the Daily News. He was here. This is what got him on. Iverson just giving this dude time of day is really what got him on. He also got some help from Sonny Hill, who's a local legend here, who probably knows basketball more than all these guys put together. That's my old head right there. Now, Stephen A. Smith, man, come on, man. We don't accept he's one of us. He's a New York guy, man. That's why every time, he's a Knicks fan, he goes with them, and he goes with Brooklyn at the end of the day, man. That's Stephen A. Smith. Not no Philly guy. The hell out of here with all that, man. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of it with these guys. These dudes is clowns. You know what I mean? And damn, look like Atlanta just knocked Cleveland off, man. Cleveland was looking good beginning of that game, man. But that boy Trae Young, man, whew, serious. All right, so that's all I got, guys, man. Till next time, man, I'm out.